I just am worried that we're missing the obvious signs.
People are realizing we have massive problems, and not just the border, and it's not just the war and the COVID coming back. It's not just all of that. It's that there are actual problems with our life expectancy, with reproduction, with the amount of antidepressants we're on and more. Here's Tucker Carlson on that.
I just am worried that we're missing the obvious signs. And the obvious signs are reproduction, life expectancy, sobriety. If you have a society where people just can't deal with being sober, don't want to have children, and are dying younger, you have an extremely sick, you have a suicidal society, okay? And I'm not even blaming anyone I'm just saying objectively that is true. And the measure of a health of your society is the number of children that you have and how well they do. It's super simple. That's the next generation. We all die. And what replaces us? And if you don't care, then you're suicidal, and maybe other things too. But that's all I'm saying. So what happened to South Korea? Like, why can't anyone answer the question? They're great people. They're rich. They have all these advantages. They're on the cutting edge of every American. For a foreign country, they're more American than maybe any other country other than Canada. And like, what happened?
And I mean, your fundamental worry is the same kind of thing might be happening or will happen in the United States.
Well, let me just ask you this. I think North Korea seems like the most dystopian, horrible place in the world, right? Obviously. It's a byword for dystopia, right? North Korean. I use it all the time, and I mean it. If in 100 years, there are more North Koreans still alive than there are South Koreans, what does that tell us?
Yeah, that's something to worry about, but also...
But like, how did it happen? Like, why? I'm interested in the why. This is a question I asked Putin. You know, sometimes we don't know why, but why does no one ask why?
I've seen a lot of increased distrust in science, which is deserved in many places. It just worries me because some of the greatest inventions of humanity come from science and technological innovation.
So the question really is, so what's happening to the United States? We're going to show you some numbers that explain a little bit of what he's talking about, but we know this. There is a massive push by the media and what's happening on TikTok and elsewhere to tell young people to delay when they get married, if they get married at all, to not have kids, to just live for themselves, all of those things. We know, especially post-COVID, rates of alcoholism increased hugely, that rates of drug use and antidepressants, it's something like 12% of American adults are now on SSRIs. It's like, what is actually happening? I mean, something is, and that's why I always say it's a spiritual problem that we're all dealing with more than a political problem.